welcome Murray McLachlan, who is the chair of the European Piano Teachers Association Executive Committee and also the European Piano Teachers Association UK. How long has EPTA, or the European Piano Teachers Association, been around?
Well, the first thing to start was ESTA, which is the European String Teachers Association, and it started in the mid-70s and was very fortunate in having Yehudi Menuhin as the patron. And then Carola Grindia, who's an amazing Romanian piano teacher, a legend in London. I mean, she was a personal friend of Myra Hess. And indeed, Carola's daughter Nadia, who's still in the committee, is the goddaughter of Dame Myra Hess. Anyway, Carola said, "I think we should have a piano one," and she couldn't get Yehudi Menuhin, but she got the next best thing. She got Yehudi Menuhin's brother-in-law, Louis Kentner, to be the first president of EPTA UK, and that was started in 1978. So we just had our 40th anniversary of EPTA, the European Piano Teachers Association. And in 2018, we celebrated in King's Place with Angela Hewitt, our joint patron, giving a wonderful masterclass with Bach and all sorts of other things. A real feast of inspiration. And so, yeah, I mean, we're 42 years young.
That's brilliant. And how many countries are involved in EPTA?
Well, it started off, and there was just EPTA, that was it. But very quickly after 1978, other countries expressed interest in getting involved. Iceland was one of the very first ones, and then Holland, and then the Netherlands. There are now 32 EPTAs. And there's also affiliate EPTAs. There's EPTA in Chile associates, and there's EPTA China associates, there's EPTA Israel as well. It's a huge family, and even Canada, and people come, and Singapore, people join EPTA that are not in a country of EPTA. And we get together, once a year for a massive conference, international conference. The next one is in Bonn. It should have been in April, May, but because of the COVID, we're having it online, and we're doing all our presentations on Zoom, which it was a great shame. It was a great Beethoven celebration of the 250th anniversary. But no, we'll have a good time. We always do.
And what sort of presentations do you have at those conferences?
The European ones, well, I mean, they're all totally different because we make sure that there's a different EPTA country hosting them, and they all have different themes. I mean, this year, Beethoven's a lot about Ludwig van Beethoven, and there's new commissioned pieces that contemporary composers have written inspired by Beethoven. That's a huge project alongside it. But other years, there'll be all kinds of different things. We had a conference in Vienna last year, and there were presentations on all kinds of things. I mean, on shorter sized keyboards. We had one, we had always pedagogy, always new music, new material, performing, just everything to do with the huge universe of not just piano pedagogy, but piano inspiration, development, technique, repertoire, playing, everything.
One of the things that EPTA do have is the Piano Professional, and I'm very excited to have had a few articles in Piano Professional as well.
We're extremely popular, Paul, and it's always lovely to have your inspiration, and group teaching is the next one that's just come out in the new issue. So, we're delighted to have that. I mean, Piano Professional is specifically the United Kingdom's flagship magazine, if you like, and we've specifically tried to keep it geared, towards pedagogy and towards the needs, not just of pianists at conservatoire, but more importantly, the piano teachers who are working in their own homes with very young children. And that's really the whole point of EPTA. I mean, it can be unbelievably lonely being a piano teacher, and we need to have a community to bring us together, and to not just to discuss the nerdy things, although that's very important, but just to make us feel that we are not alone, that we're doing things that we care about, that many other people do, and getting them together. So we help to form friendships, and I think the community aspect is really important for our instrument.
It certainly is. It certainly is. How many members are there in Britain?
In Britain at the moment, well, we're about 1,500 members. I
Hmm.
mean, having said that, there's a lot of people turn up to EPTA events who are not EPTA members, and we have a huge network. I mean, it's interesting that we talked about the big international EPTA
Mm.
meeting, every year with the Conference and Piano Journal, which is the magazine for all the EPTAs, which is the oldest piano magazine in the United Kingdom, started in 1980.
Mm.
But on the national level, out to UK, I mean, we have national events like Angela Hewitt playing, but then we have all our regions. We've got 25 regions, and they put on all their events.
And what would you say are the three main benefits that members would get from being a member of EPTA?
Well, I mean, we've got our handbook here, which is now going on. Everything's going online now. But I mean, the social aspect, which I've mentioned, the community aspect is vital. The inspiration I've hinted at with mentioning Angela Hewitt, or our conferences, people like Peter Donahoe, or whatever, Piers Lane is our president at present. People like that come and give inspiration, but also just the kind of support. I mean, what do you do if a parent refuses to pay your fees? What do
Mm.
you do if you're unfairly dismissed from a school? Acting as a kind of, legal helpline, giving the kind of support in that way,
Mm.
insurance benefits, public liability, all those sorts of things. But I mean, the benefits of EPTA, pages and pages of things that we do. We give, reductions from certain retailers. We give, we give free music to people quite often, and
Mm.
our
Mm.
magazine that goes out 3 times a year gives all kinds of support and ideas and keeps people up to date with what's going on in the piano world.
And where can people find out about EPTA?
Well, there's our website. That's epta-uk.org or EPTA Europe. That's the starting point. And we do all kinds of competitions or platforms for players to play in. Recently we started EPTA festivals. To
Mm.
kind of give as much flexibility as possible to people who want to play in public and get the chance to share music. And after all, that's what music's about, sharing. Lots of opportunities for the performers, the pupils of teachers, to do things and take part.
Excellent. Thank you for your time, Murray.